Hello, everybody. Welcome along to the Football Martin channel. Today, we're building up towards Southampton versus Hull at the weekend. Saints travel to Hull City, in which will be a really tough game for the Saints. And I want to preview it and sit down and talk to one of my very good friends. Ant from Holland back is going to be joining me here on the Football Martin channel today. And he's going to give us a lowdown on Hull, what their season's been like, and what we can look out for as Southampton fans at the weekend. So I'm going to bring Ant along to the show. Ant, thank you very much for coming on. How you doing, mate?
No worries. Always happy to come on and chat about City. I'm good at the minute. I almost missed the show because I forgot it was my mum's birthday. I went to go see her and then forgot what time it was. I was like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be going on with Martin, so rushed home.
Oh, mate,
Sorry.
bless you. Thank you very much for giving up your time this evening. I really, really appreciate it.
It's fine, mate.
You're a massive Hull City fan. You create some really good content. Let everybody know where they can find you, Ant.
Oh yeah, so we run the Tull and Back podcast. So we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, Facebook is our main streams, but we obviously release the audio file, and that's on your usual podcast providers like your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, everything like that. So we do tend to try and get opposition fans on as well. We are in the midst of trying to gain control of our website so we can upload more stuff, more written content. So it's not just purely Hull City stuff. We do try and get opposition fans on as well. So it is worth a follow if you like seeing the opposition view kind of thing. We're definitely, if you're a Southampton fan and fancy a quick follow, we would appreciate it. But yeah, we're pretty much where you would expect us to be: Insta, Facebook, YouTube, and all your usual audio providers.
Yeah, and you create some great content, but you've got such good knowledge of Hull City, and that's why I've got you on today, because you can give us the inside scoop on Hull, what Saints would need to expect at the weekend. We're going to be coming off the back of an international break. How do you find the international break, Ant? I don't know about you. I'm not a massive fan of it. If you're out of form, it's not a good time, is it? Because you kind of want to kind of put things right. But if you're in form, it's the other way, isn't it? You kind of like, you want to keep going, keep the momentum going. So if in the run into the international break, how were things at Hull for you guys? Been a bit of a mixed bag last couple of weeks.
Yeah, so the couple of games leading into the international break, we've kind of come off the boil a bit. We started the season really well. We only had the one defeat to Norwich, I think, before we lost to Ipswich. But we've had a few tough games. I mean, we should have beat Plymouth at home, but drawing at home is our speciality this season. We're unbeaten at home, but we've also only won one at home, so we've drawn all the others. So we drew against Plymouth. We drew. We lost at Ipswich. We drew at Millwall away, which is tough. It's always a good point when you get an away point at Millwall. So yeah, we're still in the games. We're missing a few key players. Regan Slater's really missed us, and Tufan. Players like that, it's kind of just took us out of our groove a bit. But we've had some players out on international duty. I mean, Jaden Philogene and Liam Delap were both outstanding for the England under-21s in the couple of games they played. So hopefully they come back nice and fresh. They've still got that momentum from playing. And like we say, as much as we dislike the international break, it's given us a couple of weeks to try and sort of regather some match fitness up for some players that are coming back. Maybe try and get the likes of Ruben Vinagre up to full match fitness, because we're still not seeing what he's capable of. And hopefully have, the likes of Ozan and Slater a little bit closer to returning. So, no, you always prefer club football to international football, especially under Southgate at the minute. It started off well under him, didn't it? It sort of teetered off lately.
Really
but no, club football is a big welcome back, definitely.
Yeah, and it's always good, I think, after an international break. I've put your form guide up actually on the screen for people to see it, but it's always good to have a home game, I think, after an international break. Like, you can get everybody, everybody's ready to go when they're at home. I think for Southampton, there's going to be players coming back from international duty. It's a bit of it'll probably be a flight up to Hull at some stage on Friday. So, like, for you guys, it's perfect preparation when you're at home after an international break. I hate it when you got to travel, which is what we have to do at the weekend. Charlie Alcaraz probably won't make it for us, one of our better players. But what's your expectations of the game? Obviously, you've done really well against the two relegated sides that you've played this year already. You've obviously got points off Leicester City, which is one of the outstanding results of the season for you guys. When you reflect upon it now and see how good that Leicester have been, and then also you've taken points off of Leeds United as well. And then you play the next relegated side in Southampton. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. But what did you do against those two sides that managed to get those points?
We actually didn't concede a goal against either. I think we're the only side to beat Leicester, other than whoever knocks them out of the cup. I think with us, it's a case of, I mean, we've seen this all season. The teams like Plymouth, and well, I would say Sheffield Wednesday, but we ended up beating them. But we're much better on the counter. I feel like us and Southampton's going to be a very, very possession-based game for both teams. I think if you're watching as a fan, it could be potentially a very dull game because it's going to be watching our defenders pass it sideways for 90 minutes. But
just like ours, just like
ours.
I
mean that the Rosenior styles play out from the back, short passing, and we all know what Russell Martin likes to do. So it could potentially be quite a dull game to watch. I don't think any neutrals would probably want to watch it on the TV if it was on the telly, that is. But no, we're much better when sides come onto us. We're not very good at breaking down low blocks. If we have to try and break down two banks of four, for example, we really struggle to do that. But if we've got lightning pace on the counter, so we like it when teams come here and have a go, because then it means that we can exploit that space on the counter with the likes of Jaden Philogene, Jason Aquilo if he plays, Liam Delap's electric as well. So we've got really dangerous players on that transition. So I feel like this game will be a battle of the midfield. I think whoever conducts the middle better will probably win the game. But both sides this season seem a little bit suspect at the back, but there's goals in both teams. So potentially a goal fest. But with both sides' style of play, it's probably going to more likely be a 0-0 or a 1-1 more likely.
Yeah, I think it's a tough game for us to go there. And I think we're a little bit low on confidence, certainly coming out of the Rotherham game, a game that it should have been well and truly buried. We actually didn't take our chances that day, and that was a little bit of a worry. There's rumours that Ross Stewart may make the squad at the weekend. I don't know how true they are, but a player that Saints need desperately. In the striker department for you guys, you've got Liam Delap there, who's heavily linked with Southampton several times in the last couple of years. I've seen a bit of your other work you've done, and you've spoken really highly of him elsewhere.
Yeah, he's the thing is with Delap, he actually I'll speak for myself. I was quite underwhelmed when we signed him because he went on loan to both Preston and Stoke last season, so we had two different loan spells in the same league. And didn't really pull up any trees at either. Fans don't really have a positive word to say about him, and his goal record really as a striker in professional sense, in playing for an actual club, hasn't been great. So you're thinking, last season our biggest problem was we weren't scoring enough goals. So why we signed another striker who doesn't score goals? But what he gives you is more than his goals. He is the platform to the way that we want to play. So I feel like his stints at Stoke and Preston were because the style of play that they incorporate didn't suit him. Yeah. Whereas he's come here because we play a similar. I mean, no one's like Man City, but we're pass style. So it's intricate, slow build up like what Man City do, and I feel like he fits into it a bit more. I mean, Pep Guardiola was absolutely full of praise for him, and I feel like he's not the kind of manager to build up a player just for the sake of it. He must have something about him. And from what we've seen about him this season, on the 10, he's frightening. If you've got your centre half and he's got his back 10 to Delap, he'll spin you either way. So he's going to be a centre-back's nightmare. He's freakishly fast how tall he is. He's good in the air and he's strong, and he's got a good couple of skills on him. So he constantly asks questions at the back four. I think before we played about 4 games in a week and a half or something like that, and he ended up getting dropped just so he didn't burn out. But he's probably one of our best players this season so far. He's only scored the 2 or 3. But his running in behind and creating space and assisting goals and create space for the likes of Connolly and Tufan and players like that to score. So he's been very, very good for us this season. Yeah, I think he's definitely one who's going to just improve as his career goes on.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see who plays at centre half for Southampton on the weekend. I don't know if you know from looking at the team news looking in, but obviously we lost Jack Stevens to injury a little while ago. But off on England international duty, Taylor Hayward-Bellis is with the under-21s. He's come back early, injured with a hamstring issue. I would imagine he missed the weekend, so it leaves us with only one other fit centre-half to bring in. And that would probably be to bring in Mason Holgate, who's not had the greatest of starts for Saints. For whatever reasons, he's probably been thrown in when he wasn't ready to play. So it'd be interesting to see the partnership, but there's not loads of pace in that Southampton back. Those 2 centre-halves, but certainly in and around centre half is a little bit of a concern for me. I think you could cause whoever plays at centre back for us massive problems at the weekend. I feel.
I mean, your biggest worry would be Philogene. He's
talk to me
probably
about Philogene. I'm interested to hear about him actually.
He's the most exciting player I think I've seen us have since the Premier League days. He is
really
how we've signed him in the Championship above the likes of Leicester, Southampton, Leeds, Coventry, Middlesbrough, teams like that that were chasing promotion last season is beyond me. I mean, we signed him for £5 million permanently. Villa have a buyback for 15 million, but it only activates if we get promoted. So as long as we're in the Championship, he's our player permanently anyways. And they don't have first refusal, I don't think. So if another team came in and offered 20 mil next season after promotion, we don't have to say to Villa, well, do you want him first? We can accept that anyway. So it's people are saying he's on loan. He's not. We've signed him permanently and he's outstanding. I watched him for the England under-21s against Serbia, was it? He got man of the match and he was the best player on the pitch by an absolute mile. His ability to go either way of the defender, I think, is just... If you are a defender yourself, you don't want to come up against a player who's just as good on either foot, very fast, and just his first thought as soon as he gets the ball is, I'm going to run at you. And that's what he does. He's that kind of player that gets you off your seat. As soon as he gets the ball, half the stadium stands up. He's that kind of player. So he gave Millwall's fullback an absolute nightmare in the first half at the Den. I think that was one of the best 45 minutes I've seen from a City player in a long time.
And he plays on the right side, the boy.
He plays either side. He starts on the right side usually. He's right-footed mainly, but
they'll put him up against Ryan Manning then, won't they? They'll put him up against Ryan Manning, who's probably the weaker of the two fullbacks in the Southampton side.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted us to sign Manning in the summer, but I can understand why he went to Southampton. But the thing is with Philogene is we usually start him on the right-hand side, and then as the game progresses, we make a couple of subs, we switch him over to the left. But like I said, that first half against Millwall, he played so well that they subbed the Millwall, the fullback who he was against, they subbed him off at half time and brought on another one because he was tied in knots by the time the half time whistle came around. So I'm hoping he continues that kind of momentum. He got his first goal for us against Millwall as well. He's already got a few assists. So yeah, he's very exciting. When you partner that up with Liam Delap, and then you've got Aaron Connolly as well, who's on 5 goals. We've got Jason Lakilo as another exciting player to come on off the bench. He's coming back from injury. We're sadly missing Tufan, who's on 4 as well, so he would have been very important the last few weeks. We've desperately missed him. But you add that to the likes of the conductors in Seri and Tyler Morton and Adama Traore and players like that. We've got an exciting side going forwards. We just need to kind of shut the door at the back because we've not had many clean sheets. We've only had the one.
Very similar to Southampton. We need to shut the door at the back. We concede way too many goals, and that's probably where the game's going to be won and lost, isn't it? Can either one of us keep a clean sheet? I can't see either team keeping a clean sheet.
No,
it depends how many people we like to throw forward, but we just obviously when you're playing possession-based football, like both sides play, it's so unforgiving, isn't it? If you do make a mistake, you like you say, you're opening the door, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to have a style of play that suits every single fan of the club. There's quite few murmurs at the minute against this player from the back that Rosenior wants to play, and I think it's only because results have slightly started to go against us. I mean, it's not like we've played sides in there that we should be beating. I think other than Plymouth, I mean, we've got a good result away at Stoke, a very good draw at home against Leeds, a good draw away at Millwall. So overall, it was actually a decent run of results. It's just we're not quite getting the wins that some of the performances deserve. I mean, we were well beaten at Ipswich, but there's no complaints here. I think they were the best side we've played this season. They're outstanding, but we're in a good place. And like Rosenior said, some of the players we signed this season wouldn't have come here if we didn't play this style. So Philogene, Delap, players like that wouldn't have come here. It's the style of play that's attracted these players that want to be able to express themselves in that fashion. So it, like you say, it's one of those that's risk and reward. Yeah. Every mistake's probably punished, but would you rather play a Neil Warnock, Route 1, Sean Dyche, smash it up to your striker the first instance you get and then just head it straight back and you're under pressure? Yeah. I wouldn't. So, you're going to score far more goals controlling the ball and, because the other team can't score if they haven't got the ball, can they? So
no,
I'm all for it, mate.
Yeah, no, it's been mixed down in Southampton. There's a fan that sat in front of me for the Rotherham game. He's like, not there. Oh, not again. Don't play it backwards. Get it forwards. You've got to get it forwards. And that is a lot of the older generation do not like the style of football down at our place. Like, it's a real mixed bag. Some people back it, but there's a lot of people bored with it. And but you say, it does attract players. And Russell Martin said the same here. We've managed to keep players, and Carl Walker Peters because of the style he wants to play, and he's probably attracted players like Ryan Manning because of how he wants to play, and Shay Charles because of they want to play a possession-based football like a Guardiola does. So it does attract players, doesn't it? Unfortunately,
it does. And I mean, the thing is you can understand, because I think, especially when, I mean, you've got to give Russell Martin obviously time for these players to adapt to that system as well. The same as we have with Rosenior. I mean, we've had Rosenior since for a year now. So he's had time for these players to sort of get used to it. When he first came in, we were mistake ridden, and I remember the first game against Cardiff, and we probably could have conceded 3 or 4, giving the ball away at the back. But he's slowly added those pieces to the jigsaw puzzle that we needed to be able to play the style we have. Like we said, we've got Seri and Morton that drop deep, fantastic ball playing midfielders. You've got Ryan Allsop now in goal, who's great at playing with the ball at his feet.
He's a great guy, Ryan Allsop, isn't he? I really like him.
No, he's been out. He got 2 in his first 2 games for us. He got man of the match in both the games, so it just shows what he's added to the team.
Yeah, I followed his career actually over the years. He's a good goalie, to be fair.
He got a lot of stick from Cardiff fans when we signed him, but I can't understand where that flack's come from, because he's been outstanding for us. But that happens, doesn't it? But yeah, like I say, so we've added him. We've got Alfie Jones and Jacob Greaves that are fantastic ball playing centre halves. Jacob Greaves will probably be a Premier League player if it's not with us in the next year or 2. So it's we've got everything there that we need to do to play this style. But like you say, people are going to complain sometimes, because my only inkling with the style we're playing at the minute is sometimes we start too slow, and we need to inject a bit of urgency. Yeah, I mean, I watched Ipswich, and they do similar. They play out from the back, short passing, but they do it so fast and incisive.
They do it quick, don't they? Yeah, they've got so much confidence, haven't they?
I mean, I watched that game not with, usually if you're on the back of a 3-0 defeat, you're sat there and you're absolutely livid because your team's been awful. We didn't have a chance to be awful. They just stopped they suffocated us, and you sat there with envy watching how they played in that style, and you're thinking, I hope that's the way that Rosenior is trying to get us to go in the future.
That bit quicker, that little bit more snappiness about things.
Yeah, because when you're on the ball, I think when you're playing possession based, and sometimes when you do one too many sideways or backwards passes, it allows the other team to get back into the shape, doesn't it? I think that's why we struggle to break down sides that sit deep, because we're a bit too slow on the ball. Whereas when you watch a team like Ipswich do it, as soon as they win the ball back, that's it, gone forwards. Every single pass is quick, one touch passing all the way up, and we've got 3 against 4, 3 attackers against your 4. Already, and then they were scoring goals. So, I mean, like you say, you've got to be patient with it sometimes. I mean, it can be hard when results start going your way. I mean, when Southampton lost 4 in a row, a lot of people were saying Martin will probably get sacked, but he's managed to turn it around. That good result against Leeds. So sometimes patience is key. You've got to let him have a couple of transfer windows maybe to get some players in that he needs, because I think Ross Stewart's going to be a fantastic signing. He was great for Sunderland last season.
Yeah, what was he like? We're all we don't know loads about him, but we're obviously all excited to see him. You would have seen him last season and heard a bit more about him than maybe us Southampton fans do. What can Southampton fans expect from Ross Stewart? He's
easily one of the best strikers in the league. I'd put him in the same category as Joel Pirot. He's a different kind of striker to Pirot, who likes to drop into like that number 10. But Ross Stewart he's big, he's physical, but he's fast. He's good with the ball at his feet, runs in behind. He actually scored against us for Sunderland in the home game. I think he'd just come back after 10 weeks out injured and scored with he came on in the second half and scored within 5 minutes. Literally just played a long ball in, and he ran in behind, got on the end of it and slotted it under Ingram's legs. So he's a born finisher. If you can keep him fit in a side that creates chances, he'll get 20-25 goals easy as a minimum. Definitely one of the best strikers in the league. So he's one that I think the rest of the league are probably hoping stays out for a bit longer. He's a very good player. Yeah.
No, I think he'd be key for us. We're a little bit reliant on Shay Adams at the moment, who's got issues. Probably, I don't think he's at the football club, but there's a new contract offered. He's not accepted it. He probably wanted a move in the last 2 transfer windows. He's not got those moves that he probably desired. And now he's probably sat at the football club and probably seeing it out. But how hungry is he going to be between now and Christmas to get us the goals we need? And like, even his work rate's maybe not what it was. And I think that's where we're a little bit short in the striker department at the moment. I just think we need Stewart fit as quick as we can. looking ahead to this game at the weekend, how do you see it going? From the whole City fans' point of view, up in your neck of the woods, are you feeling confident about the game, or do you think it's going to be a close encounter?
I think we've gone after the start we had. I think we've gone into every game confident. I think especially at home where we've only lost once in the last 18 or something. I think we're very confident. Rosenior has shown that I think we've got the most points this season from losing positions. Our usual forte at home is we'll go 1-0 down in the first half and then we turn it on and bring it back in the second to either draw or win. Which I'd like us to stop. I'd like us to go 1-0 up instead and hold on to it, but because it doesn't do well for your sanity in the stadium.
No, it doesn't at all.
But no, I think we are confident. We've definitely got a side. I think that I mean, especially with showing at the minute and some of the teams we've played. I mean, we played Coventry, Leicester, Leeds, Southampton after this weekend. Norwich, Millwall. We played a lot of good sides.
Played some really good sides. Who's the best side out of everyone you've played so far?
Ipswich by far.
Yeah, they look outstanding, don't they? He's done an unbelievable job, hasn't he, Kieran McKenna there? He's got League One players still, and they've got momentum. Obviously, Leicester look good, but he's got the tools there, hasn't he? As a manager, Maresca's gone in and got tools, but this guy at Ipswich, he's done phenomenal. When you look at it, and
he's had a similar impact with that side as what Bielsa did with Leeds. So he's took.
Yeah.
I mean, what Bielsa inherited at Leeds was a mid-table championship side, and he made them title winners and Premier League players. Kieran McKenna's done the same. The vast majority of that Ipswich side have been League One players for the vast majority of their careers.
Yeah,
and they've been League One players because they haven't been good enough.
And they've stepped up, which is unbelievable, isn't it? You look at Connor Chaplin, classic example.
He's found a system. I mean, the best managers, and I said this when we had Grant McCann as manager, and our biggest criticism was that he was so stubborn in the way that he plays, and had no, he couldn't get the best out of the squad. So the reason we got relegated under McCann that first season, we were, I think, level on points with 6th place in January and ended up finishing bottom. And it was because we sold Jared Bowen and Kamil Grosicki in the same day, and then just fell like a stone because he didn't change the way we played. So we played a 4-3-3, which suited them both. We lost them both, and he still played the same way, but put worse players there. So it was never going to work the same again. You had to change it to get the best out of the squad of players you've got. And that's what McKenna's done. He's looked at this team and gone, right, what's the strength in this team? There's bags of goals in this side. Let's just play on the front foot and just suffocate everybody and just relentlessly attack for 90 minutes.
They're relentless.
And that's what they do.
I've watched them, they're relentless, Yeah.
I mean, they've scored, I think I saw a mad stat where they scored in every single game since the something of February, 14th of February or something like that. And in only in every game but 4, they scored at least 2.
Yeah, I saw that. So they're the top goal scorers in the division at the moment as well. They scored more than anybody else, which is incredible. But when you look at the league table at the moment, is there any major surprises for you when you look at it right now and think, like Ipswich are up there? And I'm going to put the fixtures up actually for the weekend as well, because I've got all the fixtures to show everybody if anyone doesn't know what's happening this weekend. So this is the fixtures for the weekend. No, it's not the fixtures. That's the previous, actually. Sorry. Okay. That's the previous. So there's the fixtures for the weekend. League table as well. So we can see the league table, and obviously Leicester City almost running away with it with Ipswich at the moment. Any major surprises in there for you?
I think Birmingham and Preston have pleasantly surprised everybody. Obviously being in the top 6. Preston seems to have come off the boil the last 3 games, which is what people expected. So it'd be interesting to see how they react this weekend. Obviously, a tough game at home to Millwall.
Really tough game against Millwall. Yeah, I thought that.
Middlesbrough surprised everybody, but they've sort of woken up now and kicked on. I think they've won 4 on the bounce or something now, aren't they?
Wayne Rooney's first game at the weekend against Middlesbrough as well.
It'd be interesting because I just think that was a ludicrous decision with the job John
Madness, absolute madness, isn't it?
And the lack of managerial pedigree that Rooney's had, it just seems like never mind a backward step. It seems they've gone back 2 steps. Yeah, so very odd. But no, Leicester are about where I expected them to be. Ipswich are about where a lot of people had them, but I didn't think they'd quite be that good. But after seeing them, I can believe the hype. Southampton are a lot lower than I expected them to be. But like I say, you
same here. I'm just so surprised at where we're at. I'm so surprised.
Yeah, and then Coventry have only lost once or twice, I think. So, but they've just drawn loads of games, so they're obviously learning how to win without Gyökeres and hit him over this. They've kind of found it now, I think. So the table, I think, is starting to even itself out. The players,
It
the
is,
teams
isn't
where
it?
you
At this
expected
stage,
them to be starting to slip there, aren't they? The bottom three, I think, a lot of people would have had them down there. Sheffield Wednesday, Rotherham, QPR. So that seems about right. But I think the top six is still changing, but it's getting there, isn't it?
11 games and it starts to settle down. I looked at our previous fixtures against Hull City today as well. So this is like the previous sort of 14
really
or so
well,
games. Yeah, it's an interesting one, really, because like we haven't played you like a great deal for many years now. So the last game was a 0-0 draw in the Premier League. So all our previous 6-7 meetings were all in the Premier League, weren't they? So
yeah,
it's just been a while since we played you. But like your form guide, I just think it's a dangerous time to be playing you after an international break. In my opinion, I think it's super tough, tough place to go.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, the Southampton, I always when I think about it, because there's that season where I think the 07-08 season where we got promoted in the Championship.
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
Southampton absolutely mauled us at St Mary's, and then we absolutely mauled Southampton. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, where one team wins so convincingly in the first game, and then the other team wins so convincingly in the second. It was so bizarre that season. And then I remember as well the Premier League where our keeper did an absolute howler and Wanyama scored from about, I think, 35, 40 yards or something like that.
Good player, Wanyama. Really good player. Yeah, remember that goal clearly. But before I let you go, we need to do score predictions. We're live at the moment as well, so we've got a few people tuning in watching. So we're going to try and get some score predictions as well. If people want to comment in the box, or if you're on YouTube, I think you can do it. Maybe not on Facebook. I'm not sure I can see the comments. But your score prediction, I'll give you my score prediction. What are you going with, Ant, at the weekend?
I've changed my mind about 6 times this week. My head says draw because that's just what we do. And like I say, we're missing a couple of key players in an offensive sense. But after watching some of our players on international duty this weekend, I'm thinking, do you know what? They look on fire at the minute. And like I say, it suits us more when a team comes here to attack. And I believe Southampton are going to come here and do that. Obviously, Southampton are one of the,
they won't sit back. Southampton, they won't sit back. They're having a go, definitely.
And that suits us. That's where we're at our best. So using that as info, I'm going to quietly, optimistically predict a 2-1 home win.
2-1 home win. I think there's going to be goals in it. I'm going to go with a draw, and I'm going to go madly with 2-2. See there being 4 goals in it. Yeah, fancy Adam Armstrong to get on the score sheet again. He's been probably our best player from a bad bunch so far because it's just been such a mixed bag. But Adam Armstrong, he's wearing the captain's armband at the moment. He's probably he looks undroppable for the manager, and he works tirelessly for the side.
A great striker at this level as well. He's got
at this level. He scored 20 plus goals. I think if he can keep momentum going, it's just finding the best position in the team for him. I think that the manager's probably not sure in his best position in the side. He tweaks him, plays him wide sometimes plays him as a 9, plays him in the 8, plays as sort of 9.5 at times. But it'd be interesting to see if we play up front because I don't think Alcaraz will travel to Hull because he's away with the Argentina national side. He's been playing in the 9/9.5. So without him, I would imagine Shea Adams will start up front. I don't see anything else, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and Shea's not one to score loads of goals, unfortunately. He's at his level where he should do, but I don't know. Depends if his heart's in it.
Yeah. It's a shame, isn't it, when players that would quite clearly do so well in this division just down tools because they don't want to be there.
He could score so many goals. He could score so many goals.
For me, obviously speaking as a fan, I'm not a player. I don't know what the mindset's like, but for me, it would just be a win-win for the players to come down and just rip it up. Because if you want to leave, the best way to do that is to score bags of goals so loads of teams want you.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm a manager of another team and I'm looking at who can we sign this summer, and I'm looking at this player with this poor attitude, I'm thinking I don't want him near our dressing room. He'd be toxic. So you're looking at attitudes, I think, more than ability. And I mean, we had it with a couple of players after we got relegated. Nikita Jelavic really disappointed me because he was one of our best players in the Prem. Absolutely loved him. As soon as we got relegated, didn't want nothing to do with us.
Didn't want to know. Yes,
would play for 90 minutes and he just spat his dummy out and just wouldn't even try. And
a big part of it is that they get to that Premier League level and get that big bucks money. They get that Premier League money, and some of them drop down. You look at Ipswich; they're all every player wants it. They want to get on the big bucks.
Yeah.
They want to be in the Premier League. A lot of the guys with us, they've been there, they've been it, seen it, and done it. They're on the money. It's just
They
like,
get a sense of
yeah,
entitlement, don't they? They believe they should be a
yeah,
Premier League player.
absolutely.
But at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if you were a Premier League standard player, you wouldn't have got your team relegated, would you?
exactly. Yeah, you just got to chip in and give it everything.
You're part of the
you've got.
reason that they got relegated to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Such a strange mentality.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I'm looking forward to it. I really appreciate you coming on tonight, Ant. It's brilliant having you. Wish you all the best for the rest of the season as well. Great football club with a really good manager. I love your manager. I think Rosenior was linked actually with Southampton in the summer. That he's highly thought of, isn't he?
Yeah, he's. I mean, the thing is even with pundits and other pros and other managers, there's never a bad word said about him. He's one of those that even from being a player, when you heard him in interviews and you saw him in training sessions, you were like, that guy's going to be a manager. And he
speaks
actually,
really well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's very, very intelligent. Knows what he's doing. I like the fact that we've got an identity now. Like we say, he's got a connection to the area. His family lived here. His nana.
How long has he been in the football club for now? Since last
November. So
November.
a year.
Yeah, he's had a good year. Brought him in. It takes a while, doesn't it? It takes a while, and football's usually very impatient, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we've played 40 games under Rosenior. I think we've only lost 8 or 9. So
yeah,
you spread out over the course of a season. That's playoff form, isn't it? So
yeah, you'll get playoffs. I'm pretty confident Hull will get playoffs.
We just need to turn these draws into wins. We just can't.
I have this funny feeling we'll be playing each other in the playoffs. I kind of think that's where we're going to be if we're going to get anywhere. We'll be in and around the playoffs if we can pick up some form. But it's a long season, the Championship. There's so many games.
It's so hard as well. Every team beats everybody. It's such a bizarre league, but it's such a fun one as well. I mean, if you're a neutral and you don't support any of the teams in the Championship, it'd be fantastic. But being a part of it, it's just nail biting all the time. It's stressful.
And I couldn't wish for a better guest from Hull City this evening, having you on my show. So thank you very, very much indeed, mate. We'll see you. We'll see you again when we play you after Christmas.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for having me on. If you want to meet up, I'm at the game anyway on Saturday. So if you want to meet up, just give us a text. Come see you.
Brilliant. I wish I was coming, but I'm down on the Isle of Wight.
Oh, you're not.
It's a bit of a mission for me, so I'm not travelling.
It's a bit far.
I'll be at the home game. I'll be at St Mary's for the home game. No doubt about it. Thank you, man. You've been a superstar.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thank you, mate. A massive shout out to Ant from the podcast Hull and Back, who couldn't wish for a better guest this evening. He knows Hull inside out. We speak a lot over on TikTok as well, so make sure you do go and give Ant a follow. Give Hull and Back a follow as well. And please do like and subscribe to my channel, Football Martin. There's more great content coming your way. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to sit down with Fraser Spinney, who is... He does a bit of journalist work. He writes a lot of articles on Southampton. He's got really good knowledge of the football club and what's going on. And I'm going to sit down with him as a fan tomorrow and just have a Southampton fans chat. Just the two of us here on YouTube. It's going to be 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. We're going to reflect on the first 11 games of the season. We're going to look ahead to the run between now and Christmas and what our expectations are for the remainder of the season. So really looking forward to that. Hope you can join me as well. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, set a reminder for tomorrow. If you've got any questions and want to join in our debate tomorrow, it'd be great to get you involved. You can DM or join the show tomorrow. And we'll look forward to seeing you. Thank you very much for joining. I'll see you again tomorrow.